hiatus. I came back early for this one. Yes,
All
I
right.
did,
I
Bobby.
feel special.
You should. You should, because I don't play with my spring hiatus. I need at least a few weeks off. Mm-hmm. I'm going to come back to the pod. But for Bobby and for what we're going to talk about today, Paradise, I came back early. And on the show today, I have fellow content creator, Bobby Foster. He is joining me for coffee today, to talk about Paradise Season 2 and the wild ride that we have been on this entire season. And just to let you know, you guys, Bobby, he is a content creator who, let's just not call him a content creator, right? He is a story guy for TV and movies creator and cultural content creator. And Bobby and I originally met at the Paradise Season 2 premiere, and I just liked his vibe.
Yeah.
I liked his vibe.
You were good people. You were the first person I talked to at the event, actually. I was
Really?
nervous. I mean, we could get into this if you want, but I was nervous because it was my first event like that ever. And, you know, you met my wife, too, Stephanie. And we we flew out to L.A., and you were just so awesome. Like, your energy. I'm glad you were the first person I talked to because you made me feel so comfortable there at that event. And I was able to open up and just, you know, find my groove there after talking to you. So I really appreciate that. Your energy was just amazing. You were so welcoming. And yeah, it was awesome talking to you there and meeting you.
Oh, I really appreciate that, Bobby. And sidebar, that was my first real, like, fancy schmancy event, too. I was like,
really?
oh my God. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were all there in the same space. And when I met Bobby and his lovely wife, Steph, and we had a great conversation, Bobby pitched to me the idea of coming onto the pod to talk about Paradise. So, of course, I wanted to invite him. He is a great content creator in this space, and we're going to dive a bit deeper into those different topics around Paradise. But first, to give Bobby his flowers, Bobby Foster is a content creator with a creative writing degree, as in he has real knowledge. He went to school. It's back there on the wall. He actually uses it day to day. He has a creative writing degree who breaks down the deeper meanings in TV and film. A longtime admirer of Sterling K. Brown, Zay, as we like to call him, Sterling K. Brown and Dan Fogelman, Bobby brings a sharp analytical lens to Paradise to help others appreciate the show on a deeper level. And with that being said, welcome to Coffee with Yvonne, Bobby!
Yes,
hey.
Thank you. I feel
awesome.
Welcome. Yeah.
So, Bobby, okay. First and foremost, Paradise Season 2. What?
Yeah, that sums it up. We can be done now.
We can be done. Yeah. We can be done. It's like, as a show, and I've watched a lot of great TV growing up, but I'll have to say Paradise, it's been a slow burn for broader audiences, but for me, I've been in it since season 1, like when the show first dropped with little fanfare on the platforms. And from your perspective as a cultural content creator, why do you think Paradise, especially this season, is resonating so strongly with audiences in our creative communities and those who are just passionate about watching good TV?
Yeah, so couple things top of mind. First, weekly release schedule. Now I know up front, and this is smart, they do the they like batch 3 episodes the first week. They did that in season 1 as well. And then they do week to week releases, which I feel like people are resonating with weekly releases again. I feel like we also see that with The Pit, how The Pit kind of started slow the first few weeks, and then that blew up and took over award season and everything because it was able to gain an audience going week to week, where we see shows getting canceled left and right, like when you do the binge release model. Like, they don't give these shows a chance to find an audience. And so I feel like Paradise has had a chance to find an audience. And so it's getting bigger season to season. And also, it seems like people are in love with mystery box television shows right now. Severance, for example, Paradise, Silo's blowing up on Apple TV as well. So I don't know why people love that so much right now, but that seems to be a trend as well, like the puzzle box, mystery box type shows. I think part of that might do with TikTok and things like that, because people love guessing and theorizing and like being part of it. Builds a community, like when you're trying to guess what's going on. And that's what I like doing with my content. I love doing theories and things like that. I like trying to find all the clues in the episodes.
Okay. Do you think it has something to do with the fact that like shows like Paradise and as you mentioned like Severance and Silos make people think and don't have instant gratification along with it? Like you actually have to stay in the show and stay paid attention not just to your phone screen but the actual show you're watching to find those context clues?
You know, it's interesting because I feel like we always get this critique of viewers not wanting to pay attention anymore, right? I feel like we hear that a lot, but I feel like there is evidence to the contrary because like these shows are blowing up where you have to pay a lot of attention. Like I've seen a lot around this other show called From. Have you seen that show?
No.
No? So I've heard a lot about it. It's another mystery box kind of show. And the new season's coming out in a couple weeks. So me and my wife are binging the first 3 seasons that are out right now. One of those things where you have to pay attention to like what you're saying. And that's another show that has fanfare because of that. And on my own content, I get a lot of comments saying, oh man, like I was on my phone. I missed what you just talked about. And I'm like, first of all, how are you on your phone watching Paradise, first of all? But I mean, it shows, I feel like people do want to pay attention. That I feel like there's a draw to that 100%. But do you think, why do you think that is when people are on their phones watching shows? What do you think the draw is to a show like Paradise where you do have to pay attention to it?
I think it's a couple of things. I think it's the way that they pace the show. Like, it's not something that's fast-paced. They build up the story, and they tell a compelling story from start to finish, right? Like, even with the way that they do the intro of the episode, like Sterling K. Brown, like the voiceover, you're rebuilding the excitement from the past episode. You're like, oh man, that part did happen. Now I'm curious about what's going to happen next. I also think what they do very well, Paradise has leaned into social media very, very well. They have built their presence on Threads. They respond to the fans. They're creating content. They use Sterling to their advantage to help tell that story and other members of the cast. Like, they don't leave us hanging from week to week. Or, for example, Bobby, if we were to tag Paradise in a post, they actually respond to our content.
They do. It's true.
So it makes it exciting to be part of this community because you're now like, now I want to be in it because you're actually talking, well, not talking, but you're actually talking back to me in this digital space.
I think that's definitely a big part of it for sure. I wasn't thinking about that as much, but I like, so Sterling K. Brown likes a lot of my posts and things like that. And that does make me like, oh man, like, you know, I want to make more. You know? And yeah, I think that's definitely part of it because like, they are on the marketing side of things. The show is fantastic. Like I saw even like that in-person thing they were doing with the bunker doors opening up and things like that, inviting us out to the premiere and all that kind of stuff. They do a lot of great marketing for sure. 100%. Yeah.
And what I love too about Paradise are all the standout moments. You know, I have a few of mine. I call Sinatra bald spot. If you have not seen season 1, you don't know what bald spot means.
I have a crazy theory about that. Oh my God.
Wait. Okay, tell me your crazy theory.
Okay, so spoilers, I guess, but
spoiler alert.
if we're assuming there is like this quantum physics, time loop, time travel, something like that, right? I noticed that Annie and her mom were both picking at their fingernails. And it was like, right?
Yes, I saw. Okay, keep going. Keep cooking. Okay.
It was a huge, like they focused on it a lot. I'm talking about screen zooming in on it. And the only other person that has a picking issue is Sinatra.
Yes.
I feel like that's connected somehow. I don't know how. I think there's something there. Because they made mention of the picking in season 1. And it hasn't necessarily come back yet, but that was a big part of that episode. And she says she has to wear hats sometimes and this and that. I don't know. I think because there's like theories out there that Annie might be a different version of Sinatra or Annie's baby is Sinatra. I see people are throwing all kinds of stuff out there. So I don't know. I just noticed that little correlation.
And that was one of the things I noticed too with the show. Like they know how to connect the dots so seamlessly. Ooh. That part about Annie and the picking of the fingers, I picked that up too. I was like, I've seen that before, and I remembered Sinatra, aka Bald Spot. Another thing that I think about too is the whole thing with what they call time travel, but it's really like quantum, the really fancy word in relation to science, because this show really has blended sci-fi so well. And as someone who loves shows that have a little bit of sci-fi in it, a little bit like, medieval history, Game of Thrones, shout out. I love when shows understand how to blend sci-fi in seamlessly into a world without it seeming clunky.
Yes.
One of the theories I do have is about Annie's baby. I feel like, and this seems so crazy, I feel like Link purposely targeted Annie.
Ooh, okay.
Because him going to the Elvis, Graceland Ranch, and then all of a sudden Annie just so happens to be there. All of a sudden it just so happened to have a thing. But understanding too that Link has a working knowledge about Alex, he may have targeted Annie on purpose to bring a almost what they call it, like a break in the timeline that was supposed to be created, and throwing this in for a wrench for maybe what his plan is for Sinatra. Like, I just have this weird idea that Link targeted Annie for his own goals and purposes, so this baby could be created, understanding Annie was not going to make it one way or another in the timeline, whether it's this one or one that did not even involve Link being and him meeting together.
I feel like that would... it's a good theory, because I think if Link, Link helped create Alex. We know that for sure.
Right.
So if he is in on trying to make the future a certain way, then yeah, like he might have already, like you're saying, like know where Annie's at, that'd be really, I'm thinking about that. That's a good theory. That has a lot of implications.
But think about it, though. Out of all the places Link and his people could have went to, they went there. Out of all the places Annie was, she was there. And then understanding, too, Annie's connection with, like, Graceland and things like that, and then the finger picking, he may have known that she has some kind of connection to Bald Spot in this whole timeline, and may have wanted to make sure he got connected to Annie to somehow adjust the future timeline that is Sinatra.
Okay. I think everything is connected 100% somehow for a couple different reasons. My biggest thought process behind this is just Dan Fogelman, the creator. That's what he does. Like, he loves having everything just come together at the end, everything being full circle. In a lot of his projects, that's just what he does. And then it also does seem like I was going back to even season 1 and trying to find clues as to if Alex has already been in play from the beginning, right? From the very, very beginning. And I did find some stuff which was really interesting. I saw, do you remember in season 1, episode 1, there was a couple things. So he wrote, I don't remember if it was on a whiteboard or something. He was writing to his kids, and he said, get brushed and dress your teeth. He said, get brushed and dress your teeth. It was just supposed to be funny, like the words were messed up a little bit. But if we're going with this quantum physics thing, it kind of has to do with like the switching and things not being exactly right.
Okay.
Right? And then when he goes out of the house, his neighbor, they're talking about the weather and how it was cold or something, and that it'll warm up. And then Xavier goes, it always does, because it's like the artificial sun, and it's supposed to be foreshadowing they're in a bunker. But now that we know what we know about season 2, and it getting too hot outside, and it's going to like destroy the whole entire world, that might be foreshadowing that it's always going to warm up. And then,
you know what? Okay, keep going. You're cooking.
And so I feel like when you go back, and then like with the switching thing, Sinatra just gave Jane a switch. Come on now. Like, because I feel like there's going to be this reset in the finale, like some type of restart, because Link's first line of dialogue to Annie is, can we restart? That was their first line of dialogue. And then after they do what it do, he says, he's going to go out west to restart the world. So I feel like there's going to be some type of reset happening in the finale. That's kind of like my theory for the finale.
That is a very interesting take on that, because I am trying to figure out how we're going to wrap this up. And first of all, Paradise, with respectfully, 8 episodes is not enough. You put me through this every single week for 8 episodes. Like, I need more. Like, I can, at this point, Bobby, I can have a Paradise universe. I need a further backstory on Jane. I would even like to have one on the postman who went postal on Terry and them. Like, ooh, I would love his backstory. I feel like Bean is a character we're not paying enough attention to.
Yeah, he's important
in this Paradise universe. Yeah, he's important in some way, shape, or form, because he wouldn't have survived if he wasn't meant to be part of this universe.
So, the Bean thing that's interesting is another thing I never got during season 1 was Xavier's monologue to Cal, where he was talking about James and the Giant Peach, and he said his son was named after that book because Terry would always read it to him. But then he said the author originally was going to call it James and the Giant Cherry, and he was wondering if it was called that, if his son would still be named James, right? Once again, there's like this like switching factor, like butterfly effect thing. And in James and the Giant Peach, there's like, isn't it like something with a bean or something? Like James gets a bean that grows the giant peach or something. And so now he has a brother essentially named Bean. And I feel like they might have something that turns into something in like season 3 or something. I don't know.
Okay, Bobby, the amount of mental tabs that just open up in my head because of that correlation. Again, the creators of Paradise are geniuses. When it comes to connecting the dots. They're geniuses in making us think week to week. And I think that's why, again, the show is so successful, because you can never guess what's happening next. You have to pay attention. You have to be engaged in the community. And you also have to make sure that even with the show, what you think you know, you don't know. So when you even try to predict what you think you know about the show will surprise you. And now it flips your entire world upside down, 100%. Essentially. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the villains, or as I put it, air quote, the villains on Paradise. Who would you rank as the top villain in the show? And it cannot be Sinatra.
All right, I'm pulling this one out of nowhere because he's barely been in the show. But I think the professor that Billy assassinated might be the big bad of this whole thing. And
really?
This is just a vibe. I have nothing to really go with it outside the fact that he's the one that made Alex. He can control time and space, and he can maneuver. I mean, that's a wild thing to invent. Outside of him, though, man, Jane's villain, right?
I got one for you though. Is Jane a villain, or was she created to be a villain? Because now we know that message that came through to the Circuit City bro about Jane being a killer. So was she created to be a killer? Like, is it nature versus nurture, essentially?
I'm on the side of the message was sent to turn her into a killer. That's where, because her mom was already having some type of postpartum regardless.
Right.
But I think, because in the episode, Jane herself says her mom treated her bad in her childhood because of that message. And then when the mom like shoves her in the sauna, she even says like, that guy was right about you or whatever. So I think that message did affect how her mom treated her. And also I'm wondering if the voices she's hearing is like actually someone from the future or Alex. Like, is that Alex?
Oh, that's a good theory. Because she did say that she could hear the voices. And I was thinking, well, maybe she has like mental health issues that were not addressed. Yeah. You know, that could be it. Which doesn't make her a villain. It just means that she wasn't, those things weren't diagnosed. Her mother has a lot to do with why she turned out to be that way, to your point, because of the message with the Circuit City guy, because of how he approached him at the hospital, her own postpartum. And then on top of that, Jane was always looking for a mother figure, which is why she latched on so hard to her mentor at the CIA, I think it was, or the FBI, and decided to bring a gift bag. If you've seen the show, you know what a gift bag is and why it's so important. Decided to bring the gift bag to show her loyalty, which is why she did those things for Sinatra, to show her loyalty. And if you notice, Bobby, there were always female figures she latched onto.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a male figure. It was always a female figure who could be like a mother to her or like an aunt or big sister to her. She was always looking for guidance. And whoever she latched onto, you notice she mirrored their behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, Jane was never really the villain. She was created to be the villain to meet a bigger purpose in this universe. But in reality, she just wanted someone to love and nurture her. But she just went about it the wrong way.
I agree with you. I'll give you one then. And this guy is a villain to me in all aspects.
Okay.
Cal's father.
Bruh.
He's a villain.
Bruh.
Because he's an oil tycoon. He's the reason the world blew up. And then he's financing the bunker to stay in. That's some evil shit. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
No, you can cuss. This is a free space. This is some evil shit. You right.
It really is. So, and then he treats Cal terribly. He's the one that hooks Sinatra up with the assassin and Billy. Like, he's a monster. There is nothing redeemable about this guy. Like,
There's
that we
nothing.
know of anyway. Like,
no, and I think he manipulated him to become president to further secure the power that he needed to execute this bunker. Like, Cal never wanted to be president. He wanted to be, I think, a teacher. Or something. Give me back. And his father was just so cruel to him, he pushed him away from doing that. But I think he had another agenda in mind. He knew he was building a bunker, your point. He knew what he was doing to destroy the world. He needed another leverage of power to secure his place in the bunker and in this new universe that was being created.
I feel like if there's anyone that's giving 100% villain in the show, it's definitely him.
We know Zay will fly a plane to go get Terry, who don't listen, who should have never went to Atlanta. We know that. But besides Xavier, who else in the Paradise universe can help redeem this world and bring us back to where we should be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. Who do I feel like is on the right side trying to right things? Robinson?
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen too much of her this season, which breaks my heart. I love Robinson. I love her. His daughter, maybe? She's trying to figure it out. Gabriella.
Okay.
Gabriella
the therapist?
Yeah. Her for sure. She's trying to figure it out. She just killed Jane, which I don't know. Do you think Jane is dead?
No.
Right? Although, I noticed a pattern in Paradise. When a character gets a dedicated episode, they die. It happens every single time.
But do you think that Jane really is like going to go away because Sinatra needs Jane to
I
carry
agree.
out her work?
I don't think she's dead. And if she is dead, I think we are going to have some type of situation where like another reality is going to open up or something. Because I know she hasn't fulfilled her purpose that has been promised. Like, because with the message, it could go either one or two ways. You think it is a message to stop her from becoming a killer, which that didn't happen, or she's meant to kill somebody, but we don't know who she was supposed to. And she's killed people, so we don't know if she has fulfilled her mission yet. But I don't think so. So I feel like she still has a role to play in the show. So I think Gabriella's gonna like somehow maybe like put pressure on the wound, heal her up or something in the finale. And like my thing, I thought, to your point where Jane's always going towards motherly figures, I thought what Gabriella was going to do was like recruit her under her wing and like turn her against Sinatra. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I hope she's not dead because I actually like her character. Like, she's just an interesting character to me.
I do. And I think in this world that they created with Paradise, Jane being off on the show might make sense because we've gotten too used to Jane being there, getting her hands dirty for the sake of Sinatra, and others. But I do think the therapist, she's too pure of heart to really allow her to die, to your point. I think she might try to help her. At the same time, though, I think, to your point, the kids are what could save this place, but they're naive. And we all know that when you're a kid, you have so many hopes about the world, about how you can change the world, X, Y, and Z. We're seeing in real time how you can have hope for changing the world, but the more you learn about how you have to get your hands dirty to do it, are you willing to do what it takes to change the world? And in your delusion and wanting to change the world, do you become the villain like how we see Sinatra? So it all kind of plays into each other. Are you really changing the world for good, or are you changing the world for good for what you think it should be?
And that's a hard question to answer, because who gets to decide what's good? You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? So that's a hard question to answer. And I feel like with Sinatra, a lot of people think she's using Alex to like try and bring Dylan back. But I don't know. Because like when she was doing that lie detector test, she said she wasn't doing it for personal reasons. So I can't remember which question, but there was something where she said she wasn't doing what she was doing for personal reasons. And like, I know you can like fake a lie detector test or whatever, but it says she was telling the truth. And then like over and over and over, she's always saying that she's trying to save billions of people. And then like when she was holding that baby that got born like in the past, like the first baby that was born in paradise, she's like, oh, I have a plan for you to see the real stars and this and that. So I feel like she's not doing it 100% for her own personal beliefs, which makes me feel like there's like a bigger big bad than Sinatra that we haven't seen yet. Maybe they'll introduce them in the finale, and then in season 3 we have to deal with the big bad of the show. Maybe, I don't know.
And I would love to see how they continue to build Paradise, especially. But getting back to like, the context of creators in this space with Paradise, right? You see creators, Bobby, you're one of them, every single week with our theories, with what we think is going to be the big aha moment for the show, and, different predictions. How do you think Paradise is changing the way, outside the weekly release model, how do you think Paradise is changing the way we view streaming shows on various platforms? Like, do you think it's validating that there could be a space for shows like Paradise on streaming platforms, and also to engage with creators to help amplify and promote the show outside of traditional models of media?
I think we're seeing like in real time how content creators lead conversations week to week. Like we're seeing that, right? And I mean, there are the formal modes of media and doing the interviews and the late night shows and all that kind of stuff. But I think community is such a big part of getting things spread through word of mouth. And I think a lot, even though like we were talking about Paradise doing a lot of marketing on their own, I feel like a lot of people tune into the show and engage with it through word of mouth. Like it's a lot of so much. I feel like so much of the content is organic, and I feel like that's hard. I don't think you can manufacture that. I think you just have to have a good product. Like you have to have a good, intriguing show that drives conversation. And I think Paradise is really good at that. Outside of the mystery box element to it too, is that, and once again, Dan Fogelman is so good at this, even with This Is Us. That's why This Is Us blew up. Is like he's so good at relationships and making like the smallest of things meaningful. And I feel like it makes you want to talk about it afterwards because it like pulls on your heartstrings. Like Paradise is great at that too. And so, yeah, I think all of that drives a lot of conversation on the internet. And I think if Paradise has any effect on anything, I think it's going to be companies. And like I said, you can't manufacture it, but they're going to try to. Just trying to get that organic conversation flowing. And I just don't think that's something you can manufacture. But I think that's what Paradise was able to grab a hold of.
And I perfectly agree with you on that statement, because the organic content that I've seen come out of the Paradise universe with creators, and it's not just social media, you see it on YouTube, you see it in Substack articles, you see it across channels. People are talking about Paradise, and all Paradise is doing is repurposing that content for the use of their promotional platforms. And it also helps to further tick up the show in popularity, because as you see, Bobby, you have a popular show that will launch on a streaming platform and it'll stay number 1 for like 2 days, right? Paradise consistently keeps coming for that top spot. Like it keeps performing well because of the amount of conversation happening in between episodes, and also in between now seasons with the Paradise show involving the creators and the cast. For you though, as a creator, now that we're working on season 3, Bobby, let's shift the room. Okay.
Okay.
You got a note in your email saying, Bobby, we want you in the writer's room for season 3 of Paradise.
Don't do
now,
that.
They're bringing you in as a consultant, Bobby. Like, this is your time.
Okay.
It's your time to shine.
Okay.
What content or storytelling elements would you prioritize to create that deeper engagement going into season 3 for the show?
Man. First, I just want to say, I just thought of something from the last question. I just want to say it real quick.
Add it in.
Because we're talking about season 3, yearly releases. That is something new Paradise is doing. Not a lot of people are doing it, but people love it. We see the love for it with Paradise. We see the love with it for The Pit. They're currently doing it as well. Bring back yearly releases, not this like 2 to 3 year, 4 or 5 year hiatus between seasons. Okay. So, season 3 writer room. I think I'm really big. I love symbolism. So, for example, the sun is very important in season 2. I don't know why yet. Like, it's there all of the time, right? And I feel like it's going to have some really awesome meaning by the end of it. The thing I like about symbolism, as a viewer, you pick up on it, but it's always subconscious until it's revealed the importance later. And I love that, because it's this thing that's happening in your mind as a viewer that you're not aware of. And it gives you just this gigantic aha moment when everything connects. And you're just like, like, that's what the sun meant. That's what this book was about. That's why they keep showing the snow here, this there. Like, I love making those connections myself personally. And I feel like also it really builds into the like emotional aspect of everything, just having really good metaphors of things and all of that. So I feel like I would really want to dive into the symbolism of things. Like, okay, I have a perfect example. In this last episode, Cal was talking about dynasties imploding and things like that, right? So, like, this is so great. Like, this is so cool to me. So we hear that at the end of the episode, but earlier in the episode, Dylan calls Sinatra Darth Vader, right? But then you connect that to Cal's speech, and it's like the Death Star exploded, like imploded from the inside out, just like the bunker will. So it's like you just kind of have all of this symbolism. I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
So if you were to take that symbolism, first, for example, the one you talk about, the star, right? How would you roll that out into like a campaign for like creators or something like that to help tease the excitement for season 3? Like, what do you think you could do in the content creator space with that?
Ooh. But I would say, you know how they're currently doing the Paradise radio thing?
Yes.
I feel like that's cool. Kind of just having this concept that why is this radio important? What do these stations matter? Like, who cares? And kind of just like building that up each week and like releasing Easter eggs like through radio thing every week. Genius. I would just want to take that and maybe even do it to a whole nother level somehow. But I think that's a great example of something I would want to do. Whoever thought of that was a genius. I thought that was so cool. That's really cool.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I think if I were to take your sun idea, I'm just putting my marketing cap on. Okay. So the sun passes through different phases throughout the day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what they could do with the sun, now that we have exposed the outside of the bunker, they could do something similar to the radio in which you see the sun rising at different points throughout the day. And as it rises, a new message or clue is revealed that is attached to the show for Paradise, right? Yeah. You can do it that way. Or, since now we're going to be going allegedly outside the bunker, maybe showing something with like new life springing up outside the bunker and how the sun is impacting that. So you see the seed planted and the sun being part of the growth. And as the seed grows, a new like shadow, the shadow becomes bigger. And now you see the message hidden in the dirt. That was being, that's now uncovered from the shadow of whatever the plant is, or the object that was being covered from that object. Something else I could think of too is, let's see, it could be something with content creators in which you do like something dealing with like a sunrise event. So at the sunrise, every content creator who's invited gets this object, and once the sun is fully up, you hold it up to reveal a secret message. Right? That only is revealed through the rays of the sunlight. Something like that. I don't know.
You're freestyling this. This is impressive.
I am.
That's impressive. My goodness. But yeah, that's some good. Yeah, that's good.
Paradise. I live in the Washington D.C. area. I will work for plane tickets.
That is good. I really like that. I was thinking even like for this season, you know how it was it showed like, you know, it's really cold outside and then it got warmer. Like even something where it's like snow outside and then as the sun comes up, the snow is like melting and then like whatever it's like revealed underneath it as like the snow is going away, something like that. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Kind of like how they did with Game of Thrones when winter finally came. And they kept saying winter is coming. That was the teaser. Winter is coming.
Yeah.
And then when winter finally came, that was a part of the key visuals for the entire season was that frozen ice aspect of it. Kind of like that, right?
Yeah. But let me tell you, let's not have a Game of Thrones situation here.
Bobby, be kind.
Let's not do that. We want this to end well. We want things to make sense at the end. You know?
Yes, because Game of Thrones, as much as I love Game of Thrones, I watch House of Dragons and Knights of the Seven Kingdoms. I watch the spinoffs. That last season was, it wasn't good. And I love me some Daenerys Targaryen, Mother of Dragons forever. But they should have gave us more to build up her story instead of she just went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs one episode.
Yeah, a lot of stuff about that season just didn't make sense. I think
it didn't.
If we're talking about also, because I kind of want to like relate this back to Paradise.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting because you were saying, you know, we need more than 8 episodes, which I agree to. I agree. Like, I would love a good 12 episode season. That's my favorite. That's like my favorite number for a season's 12. But we don't even get that anymore. We get like 10 most of the time. But what, like, the thing that was interesting about Game of Thrones was that for the first, 6 seasons, the pacing of the show was somewhat slow. Like, it would take characters a whole entire season to go from, like, this town to this town, right? Then by the end, they're just teleporting. You know what I'm saying? Ravens are acting like text messages. Like, there's just... it takes, like, 5 seconds to get somewhere. And they're not even riding the dragons. They're just still walking, but it takes, like, 2 seconds. And I say that to say, I hope... Because you could tell they were just trying to wrap stuff up. So they had to just, like, really go fast with the pace. I hope that in season 3 of Paradise, we don't do that. Like, I want them to stay kind of with this structure of, like, every episode. I love this about Paradise, too. Every episode has, like, a beginning, middle, and end where, like, a question is introduced and it is answered by the end, and then you get more questions asked going into like the next episode. I feel like that's how things should work. And I love how he uses flashbacks and all of that to give more context to what's going on or have the parallels here and there so you get a deeper appreciation of something. I hope we could take our time to get to the conclusion. I don't want them rushing nothing. I want a second to be able to breathe, because the same thing kind of just happened with Stranger Things, where it was just like boom, 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 to the point where it like ruined a lot. So yeah, I'm hoping if I was in the writer's room, that's what I would tell them.
Okay.
Like stick with it. Like, you got a good pace, you got a good structure, land it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping for.
So now that you're in the writer's room for season 3, what are the key themes for season 3 you would like to see from a strategic perspective to carry the story forward, and also from a creator perspective to build excitement for your audience?
Ooh. Okay. So this is interesting. So I wonder how they're going to do this with season 3. So season 1, Paradise feels very genreless. Does it not? Like, as far as like season 1, it kind of got introduced as a whodunit, like a murder mystery. Like, you're right.
There were bodies in the bunker. Yeah, we had bodies. Yeah.
Then, like, by the end of the first season, the genre shifts, and then you're like in a dystopian, you know, post-apocalyptic world. Like, so it kind of shifts like right away. Then you get to season 2, And now we're getting sci-fi. We're talking time here. We're talking physics and all this kind of stuff. So that's really interesting where it's like you have, but it kind of all happens in the background where it's not like in your face, kind of like sci-fi things. And so I kind of like that idea of like introducing like maybe another genre in season 3, like just subtly. I think that might be cool because that's kind of how it's working per season. The genre is shifting a little bit. I wonder if that's what they're going to do for season 3. But for being a content creator, what I would want, I want to be tapped in earlier next year. Like, I want to be building content myself up to the release of the show. So, like, when we got brought out, I think it was like 3 days. It was like 3 or 4 days before the show dropped for everybody else, right?
Yes.
I would want, say, 2 weeks before, we're getting Easter eggs. Like, we're getting little drops of this or that. And then we can, like, promote that, like, so other people are aware of, like, this thing dropping and just getting people excited for that first batch of episodes. I feel like we didn't really have time to build up that excitement a lot because we only had a few days. So I feel like that would be really cool. And I think, like, selfishly, I guess, if I'm invited to these events or kind of do it, like the thing you just said, like with the sun thing and, like, having it kind of be like this interactive experience, like being invited to an event like that would be, I would love that. That would be really cool. So I think, yeah, just having more time to build up that hype and being a part of the mystery box element before the show even drops would be really cool to me.
So you're basically saying to stretch out their promotion to have more lead time to engage with creators and create more activations. Like, for example, you mentioned the bunker thing that they did. I think that was AI for the most part. Some of it was real, but the other pieces around the world were AI. I love that concept, Bobby. I love the concept of opening the bunker, and I think it would be cool, to your point, if they were to bring creators in early, having like bunker based activations, like, you know, maybe we go inside of a bunker that they create specifically for the premiere for season 3. We create content in that space. We build up like the mystery for the show, X, Y, and Z. I think there's so much work that they can do to further build and nurture this creator audience, because I don't see a lot of shows doing it the way Paradise is doing it right now. True. And if they want to keep creators engaged, they have to keep building those relationships and giving us that exclusive access to that content so we can then promote the show for them on our channels to build that word of mouth.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great way to put what I was saying. 100%.
Yay!
Yeah.
How do you envision the relationship between like creators, digital storytelling, and even reading culture? Because, you know, this is also sci-fi, evolving both online and through in-person community spaces with content creators.
Yeah. I think it's going to be important. I just saw like an article saying how the younger crowd is like going back to like in-person events rather than doing everything online. So I think the things you're talking about where they're inviting us out to events and stuff like that, I think that's going to be important. I think doing things in person is going to be the move going forward, and then taking those in-person experiences and like putting them online too. I think like that's even why people like those IRL streams and stuff. Like, even though they're not doing it in person, they're like secondhand experiencing what someone else is doing in person online. I think that's kind of the zone that we're moving into. And I feel like if TV shows can tap into that, I think, and even maybe expanding it beyond content creators, where you just kind of have like an open event, just like something people could come to, like say like you rent out a ballroom and then you make it look like a bunker and like people just have dinner in there for a night or something. I don't know. And then you tease something about the show while you're there or something, where it's just a community type of event. I think that's a genius idea. Somebody should do that. I think I want to see how that would plan out. Like these shows doing things in real life. An example would be too, like Severance did, before the season came out, they were in
New York,
right?
the glass cubicle.
Yeah. And the
it was like, I think it was like near the Apple store. It was like a glass cubicle. They did like a full set. Yeah.
And so they brought it and they did this thing in real life and people went crazy. Like it blew up. It was everywhere. It went super viral. So yeah, I think if you do stuff in person, I feel like that's the key right now to stand out, I feel like.
You know, I think that would be a good idea to do. Like, for example, they could take a warehouse space, and this is just me again, Bobby, thinking off the top of my head. Take a warehouse space, do a fake rock facade on the outside of it to make it look like a boulder, right? And then to build up the height, start just bringing random trucks, right?
See, that's so cool. I already know where you're going with this. That's
you know
so
where I'm going?
awesome.
Like random trucks to make it look like they're building something in the bunker, where you now get people wondering what the heck is going on over there. And it could be something as simple as when they start building up to the actual opening of the bunker, the trucks change from the trucks to now you just have random little pieces of paper or rocks planted around neighborhoods with a QR code, right? And the QR code invites you to go inside the bunker, right? And you scan to RSVP or something like that. And it could be like in places that you go to every day, a coffee shop, something like that. And then now you take this rock as the invitation. So now you're bringing the rocks and you place the rock outside of the bunker, right? That you scan to get your access entrance into this space. And once it opens up, it
like
looks like
a situation.
Exactly, like a simulation of that world. Not the full scale, but like a simulation of that world for you to engage and have like the Paradise Season 3 experience in the bunker.
There you go. Another genius idea.
Paradise.
I would go. And like, because another thing, when we were at the premiere and some of the cast came out, right? People went crazy, like them just being there up on stage. So it's like, yeah, like really just the in-person things. I feel like people are so just wanting to do stuff like that. And I feel like so much of the in-person things that people used to like to do, they're getting priced out of a lot. Concerts are expensive. Sports are expensive. Everything's expensive. A lot of people can't even get to the movies. So I feel like if you can have these pop-ups where, I don't know, it's if you're paying for it, have it be like affordable, accessible, or it could even be something where it's like Hulu like invites, like, because they can tell who watches Paradise. I'm sure they have the data, and they just give out random tickets to people that watch the show or something, you know, something like that. And just have in-person group, because like I said, like I love meeting you at the event and just the in-person stuff. That's where I'm at.
And I think that would be smart for Hulu to make it a free fan event. And that's something that you have to be a subscriber to do or something like that. Just being a fan of the show. There's a lot that they could do with the show. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they'll continue to grow this platform. Unfortunately, we're at the end of our interview, but I do have a couple sip and spill quick fire questions if you're down.
I'm down.
All right, cool beans. Okay, now remember, Bobby, this comes top of the dome. And you got to stand 10 toes down about your answer, okay?
Okay. Easy enough.
Okay.
All right.
In your opinion, who is the best rapper or singer of all time?
Kendrick Lamar.
Let's go!
That's my guy. I don't know if you can see. I don't think. Oh, I think my camera's. Hold on.
Oh.
Wait, this way. See that GNX?
Is it the Damn
there?
Album?
GNX.
Pimp a Butterfly. GNX. I got that on vinyl too. Yeah.
I do have the Damn vinyl somewhere too. I don't know where I put it, but it's in here somewhere.
Kendrick Lamar, aka K. Dot, is one of the, given respect to the rappers who came before them, let me clarify before people try to jump me in my comments, is one of the best rappers in this millennial era we have had.
Yes. In
terms of the way he thinks about music, the way he does the double entendres, the way he is a storyteller. He's such a prolific storyteller. It's almost insanely good.
Yeah.
I agree.
Listen, I could talk about Kendrick for like a 4-hour podcast, honestly. Like, I've been listening to Kendrick. I actually went to his very first show here in Orlando before Good Kid, Mad City even came out. Like, I'm a day one. Like,
oh, dang, you really are a day one.
Yeah, I've loved Kendrick. Like, man, that's my guy. And so, yeah, everything you said, 100%. I just feel like his album structure, as far as how he puts everything together, is top tier. Perfect album artist. Everything you said, I agree with that. He's just, I can't say enough. And then, like, I have my creative writing degree, like I said, and then I also tried to do rapping myself. And yeah, and I did spoken word poetry for a while too. Did some national competitions.
I can hear it in your voice. I can hear it in your voice.
Cool. Yeah,
yes,
so I know
you have that pace. You have that cadence.
I know a thing or two about writing, and I would study Kendrick. That's like why I like really fell in love with his music, because he's just top tier with a lot of the stuff that he's doing, like on a poetic level. It's just yeah, greatness.
And it takes a lot, like being a creative is so multifaceted. It takes a lot to be able to tell your story through music in that medium, right?
Yes.
Like that is not something everyone can do, which is why not every rapper is a Kendrick, not every rapper is a J. Cole, not every rapper is a Hove. It is a special talent to be able to do that in that medium of music and still be effective and impactful to your audience. To the fact that you earn a freaking Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, that's
for
wild.
your work. Like, bruh, you got a Pulitzer for being a rapper?
That's wild.
It's wild.
I hope he ends up acting a little bit, honestly. I feel like he'd be a good actor. I would want to see
Wasn't
him
he in, oh shoot, what show is that? Don't tell me.
My bad. He was in Power.
It was Power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was good as a crackhead.
That was funny. Yeah.
He was really good. Okay. Next question. So, bills are not an issue, right? You and the wifey, you and Steph are like, we're going to pack it up. We're going to explore another city for a year. Where would you live and why?
Man, I would say Chicago. Just because I love Chicago. Chicago's my place. I was born like a couple hours outside of Chicago. And I've only been back like a few times into the city. I feel like the last time I was there was like 2017. But I love everything about Chicago, except the snow. Like, I would go when it's nice weather. But I love it there.
Chicago has great food, great culture. I would have to say, as a DMV girly, I would give it, outside of the DMV and New York, I love me some Chicago too. It's a great place, all in all. And beautiful architecture too. Like, their architecture is phenomenal.
Definitely. I love how walkable it is too. Like, actual downtown Chicago is just super walkable, and yeah, every time I go, I just have such a good time there. I love the energy. I love the vibe of the city. But I'm trying to, okay, never mind. You said one place I would go, so that's my answer.
It's okay. You can sprinkle. It's a bonus one. You can get a bonus.
All right. So I don't even know how to pronounce. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I don't know. There's this place I saw. It's in China somewhere. I don't know the name of the city. I just keep seeing it on TikTok, and I'm like, yo, I need to go to this place. It's like, have you ever seen the TikTok where it's like, there's like skyscrapers and it's like so many floors. You could be like on the 10th floor of one building, but you're on like the first floor of the city. Have you ever, I don't know what that place is called, but like, I've been looking for a place where it's like modern infrastructure, right? And like, just the vibes are nice, walkable city. And like, I saw even like their train station is insane. Everything about it is just so cool. Like, I'm a big tech guy. I love tech. And everything there is just so tech savvy. Also, their health insurance is good, which is important to me. But, yeah. The place is insane, but that health insurance, bro, it got me. I need me some good health insurance. But, yeah, so I'll say Chicago, though.
Okay. Yeah. And then, last two questions. You had a long day, Bobby. Like, you're like, man, bro, adulting sucks. What is your comfort food after a long day?
My comfort food. Well, I definitely have comfort snacks. But,
go ahead.
the nerd clusters?
Yes.
Gotta give me some nerd clusters. But if I was going with some real food, I got like anything barbecue, honestly. Barbecue chicken, ribs, pulled pork. I'm a barbecue guy.
Okay.
I want to open a restaurant called Barbecue.
You know what? I ain't mad at that. I am not mad at that because I see the play on words.
Right? Nah,
I see the play on words.
I'll put barbecue sauce on anything. I'm a barbecue connoisseur. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tenderism.
Exactly. Exactly. But mine will really fall off the bone, though. I don't have to cut it on the back.
He's like, nah, man, I'm the one right here. I got that tenderism for real.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, man.
All right. So, Bobby, last quick fire question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a coffee, like this is the Bobby special, right? If you were a coffee, what kind of coffee would you be?
So here's the thing. I don't drink coffee. So I think I would be non-existent. But I would be a non-existent. But if I had to say, so I put a lot of sugar in it. So a lot of something sweet.
That was the best answer. I think I'd be non-existent. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Whew. Best answer, hands down. Well, Bobby, I thank you so much for joining me for coffee today. How can people find out more about you and your growing platform?
Definitely. So if you search up The Real Spot Bobby Foster anywhere, I'll show up. Or actually on, I think it's Instagram. I am Bobby Foster on there.
I think you are.
Yeah. I still got to change that. The Real Spot Bobby Foster thing is new. It's a new YouTube channel I started like 6 months ago. I was like just I am Bobby Foster before that, but I wanted to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, you could just search me up. I'll show up everywhere. I'm easy to find. Not a lot of Bobby Fosters out there.
Bobby, you low-key a comedian. Like, low-key. It's like very much the humor that you watch when you watch like Abbott Elementary, The Office. Like it like just slides in there. Like, you know, I'm just there. You know?
Yeah. I'll take it. I love both of those shows. So
great shows. Quinta definitely does her thing, and is a fellow creator. So we see the sky. There's no limit. There's no limit. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching or listening to the show today. I hope you enjoyed today's chat. You can learn more about Coffee with Yvonne by going to Coffee with Yvonne on IG and Threads at Coffee with Yvonne. For my personal account on IG and TikTok, where I cut up where I am in my day-to-day life. Now, I don't embarrass myself because I got a job. I don't embarrass myself. You can find me at Yvonne_creative marketer. To learn more about me and my business that I own, that I pay taxes on, period, you can go to pinkdollhousemarketing.com or at pinkdollhousemarketing on Instagram. You can slide into my DMs. That's cool. And creatives, I'm going to keep saying to this every week until you get it. Don't forget to keep showing up, keep creating, and that your voice matters. I cannot wait to chat with you on another episode of Coffee with Yvonne. Okay, bye!
Bye.
Coffee with Yvonne is produced and edited by Yvonne Pearson. Coffee with Yvonne is created by Pink Doll House Marketing. You can catch the latest episodes by subscribing to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.